Alrighty guys, so what I'm going to be going over today is a really simple way to select your weights and how to progress with strength workouts, because it's really important you're selecting the correct weights so that your body is getting enough stress so that you adapt and you actually get stronger. As well as that, you need to progress through the weeks so that you continually give it that overload. So you're progressively overloading when you need to so that your body continually adapts, rather than just staying at the same spot and your strength won't go up. Okay, before we get started here, so you guys know, if you are looking at joining the ADF or police or anything along those lines, I do have a 12-week online fit prep program. It's called Battle Ready. I'll leave a link in the comment section. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can't leave links there, so it'll be up in my bio. So make sure you guys jump in and check that out. So how to select weights and progress with strength workouts. So the best way to work with your weights with strength workouts is to work off a rate of perceived exertion. So that's how hard you feel like that weight is for you. So with strength training, you want to be working around about an 8 out of 10. Now, the reason we don't want to go up into the 9s or the 10s is because technique breaks down. 10 is absolute failure. So we don't want to be going to absolute failure. We learn bad habits. Our technique breaks down, and there's just no benefit going up that high compared to just holding off a couple of reps and sticking with that across all sets. You'll get just as much benefits out of that with less fatigue factor and less movement technique breakdown. So we want to be working with that effort, that rate of perceived exertion of around about 8 out of 10. So what that works out to be is you should have around about 2 reps left in the tank at the end of your set. Okay, and you want to be recording this every time with your results. So record what weight you did, how many reps you completed, and the RPE of that set. So how hard you think that felt. You want to do it across all sets. So you will have the same weight for strength training, have the same weight across all sets. So there are methods to pyramid up and whatnot, but the easiest thing to do is do the same weight across sets, and you should be able to hold that same weight across sets. If you can't, then you're not you're not having a big enough rest in between. So that's another important factor with strength training, making sure you have enough rest in between so that you can repeat those efforts at that same RPE. Okay, so how we progress with this is the following week or the next week after that, if we redo that same weight and now all of a sudden that RPE 8 sounds like an RPE 7, we need to increase the weight. We either need to increase the weight, or if there's a rep range, say a rep range between 3 to 5, we will increase the reps, as long as we're not at the top of the rep range yet. If we are, that's when we just increase that weight anyway. Okay, so now when it's bumped down to that weight feeling like a 7, we chuck on some weight, and now all of a sudden it feels like an 8 again, and we've progressed with the weight because we've gotten stronger. Okay, another thing that I like to do as well is my very last set is just to play with the limits a little bit. Just test that limit. So especially as beginners, you may feel like an RPE 8 is, you've only got those 2 reps left in the tank, but all of a sudden when you go to actually test yourself out, you've still got 5, 10 reps in the tank, and that can happen with beginners. So what you want to do is on that very last set, just push the limits that little bit. So instead of just stopping at what you think is an RPE 8, push it those few extra reps. And if you get another 2 reps out and you still feel like you've got another couple of reps in there, then obviously that RPE 8 that you were working with isn't really that RPE 8. So you need to be aware of that. And then next time you do it, so you record those results for your last set. So now when you go back to do that exercise again, you'll see, oh, I did 10 reps instead of 5 for that last set. Okay, that's more like an RPE 8. Okay, so now I need to increase that weight even more so that I get that same feel across all the rest of the sets rather than working too low. Okay, really simple way to do it. Work with RPE 8 or 2 reps left in the tank. As soon as that RPE starts to go down with that same weight as you progress through the weeks, you just bump that weight up or add an extra rep if you're within a rep range until it actually feels like an 8 again. And that last set, it's always good every now and then just to push that limit, just to see where you actually are. Still not going to max effort failure. Still leave those couple of reps in the tank, but just push it that little bit further to see if you are actually sitting at an 8 or whether you're sitting at a 6 and you thought it was an 8. Alrighty, so get after it, get some strength training in, and let's get strong.